So, thanks for coming to my speech. This is going to be about Ireland, also called the Emerald Isle because of all the green. First, let's start off with some fun facts. It's the third largest island in Europe, and I believe it's the 20th largest in the world, which is pretty significant because there's a lot of islands. There was a kind of thing going around that the patron saint of Ireland, St. Patrick, got rid of the snakes of the world. Turns out that's not what happened. The snakes just couldn't get to Ireland because the water from England. So, and the Titanic was built in Belfast, Northern Ireland. But Ireland is really cool because they have a really interesting history with wars and castles, and they have really interesting current traditions that I have learned. In the 1840s, there was a huge population decline, like 2 million people, because of immigration. People were leaving, and there was famine, so people were dying of starvation. The guillotine was actually in Ireland before it was in France. The first known use of the guillotine was in 1307, which is like a whole bunch of years before it was used in France. Ireland is also democratic, you might have known, just like the United States. And their current constitution is from 1937. And one of the deadliest wars that Ireland was involved in was the War of the Three Kingdoms, which was between Ireland, Scotland, and England, presumably over land. And there were castles that were built to protect people and families from casualties of war. Obviously, there were some built for other reasons, just for fun. But there are some notable castles in Ireland that I have found. The Carlow Castle is one of them. It has seen combat in at least 5 different wars or conflicts. There were too many to name. The Bunratty Castle, I hope I'm saying that right, it was built on an ancient Viking settlement, and it has also been seized multiple times throughout battles. And then the Donegal Castle, I also don't know if I'm saying that right. In 1588, there was a Spanish armada that shipwrecked on the coast of Ireland, and an Irishman arrested the Spanish and proceeded to hang them. Approximately 170 Spanishmen were hanged at the castle, which is kind of creepy. Some traditions that I read that were really interesting: weddings, birthdays, funerals, and obviously St. Patrick's Day. The weddings, traditional Irish weddings, the grooms will wear kilts to signify their clan, and their receptions are huge parties with lots of drinking, food. Basically an American wedding, like our families, but way bigger. Birthdays in Ireland, children would, their parents, when they're small, would kind of flip them and then kind of bump their heads on their cake once for every year that they've lived. Funerals are obviously sad occasions, but very rarely in Ireland are they sad events. It's basically a chance for the family members to tell memories and share experiences that they had with the deceased. And they are also huge parties with lots of drinking. And then obviously St. Patrick's Day, they eat traditional Irish food like beer, and I read pink bacon and then chicken. So basically, in conclusion, Ireland is a super interesting country with tons of lots of intriguing history, including wars, interesting, especially architectural-wise, cool castles, and very interesting traditions. So you can raise your glass to Ireland. Thank you.